are like, in many cases, a third world country. It's an embarrassment.
Once you realize that Trump is basically the perfect African president, you start to notice the similarities everywhere.
My people have great praise for me.
People love me. Everybody loves me.
We will win. We will be winning all the time. We will have so much winning if I get elected that you may get bored with winning.
I keep saying that I don't know whether this is actually possible in reality, but where I can handcuff him and take him away in an orange jumpsuit. That would be...
I assume you mean the President of the United States. There is. You know what, Bob? Give him a chance. Why won't you give the President a chance, Robert De Niro?
No, you're right, you're right. That's what I said right after he was elected. Give him a chance. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. This guy has proven himself to be a total loser.
Nothing, not talking, and having a cocktail. So tonight I thought, let's switch it up. No cocktails.
Okay.
Okay? But I'll give you, could you mind if we do this? Just do 1 minute, and we won't talk for 1 minute.
Okay.
So, and go.
Okay, thanks. Thank you. Right.
This is a tough hurricane, one of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water. It's tremendously big and tremendously wet.
And that's saying another thing, again, exacerbated by the situation with this administration. Then, of course, what they did for him going out on the, going out in Lafayette Park in front of the church with a Bible. It's beyond absurd, beyond theater of the absurd. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We need to stop it. People like the outlaw type thing, except we have a wannabe gangster in the White House now. So
yeah, he does. He tries to act like a tough guy.
Yeah.
He tries to act like a made man. Yeah.
Yeah, like a made guy,
Exactly.
You call in a certain, you'd say, disappointed Dunsky. And a Dunsky is the way of calling a Don, sort of a contracted way of a Don.
Oh, really?
And so a D and a DD, you'd call him. Disappointed Dunsky.
Really?
That's what he is. He's a dumbbell, in other words. But he's not.
It's no secret. It's no secret you're not a fan. It's no secret.
There are certain, even gangsters have morals, and they have
a code.
They have ethics. They have a code.
Maybe not more code.
A code. They have a code, and when you give somebody your word, it's your word because that's all you have is your word,
right.
Especially in that world. This guy, he doesn't even know what that means.
No. He has all the best words, but he doesn't mean any of them.
Doesn't mean a thing.
No.
The wall is being built, and we're doing 10 miles a week. It'll be completed very soon. So we're going to Texas. We're going to the southern border. As you know, we've completed the wall. They may want to expand it. And Mexico is paying for the wall, by the way, in case you had any questions. These fact checkers, they'll check facts with me, and I'm like 99% right. And they'll say, and therefore, he lied.
Trump that bitch! We don't even see the irony in it. Now we're heading into an historic election, and I'm excited to get out into America and embed myself in the middle of the campaign trail. First stop, rain-soaked Hershey, Pennsylvania. But even Mother Nature couldn't dampen our spirits. It's 8 hours before Donald Trump arrives. It's raining, and there are people here. How's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you again. You guys excited?
Absolutely. Be here for Congress 2020, baby.
You're running for Congress?
Yes, I am.
I bet you are. Good luck. Anybody can do it. A lot of familiar faces. Doris, Carol. Nice to be out there amongst my people once more. How's it going, guys? Here we go again. Since my last Trump rally, there have been roughly 37 Marvel movies and one very combative impeachment trial. But what else has changed? So what's new this season?
Everything, honestly. We got this Baby Yoda shirt.
Great America Keep. Well, I get it. It sounds like something Donald Trump would say. Or Yoda, I suppose they have very similar syntax.
We're not all great speakers.
Do you have any Trump that bitch? You don't have Trump that... No. Anything that's at all aimed at women? Not for women, at women. What are you hoping for tonight?
I'm hoping Donald Trump is just we're in a good place of mind right now. I hope he talks about immigration.
So you're hoping for a build a wall?
I'm hoping for a wall.
Who's going to pay for it?
Who's going to pay for it? I say that's what we're going to find out about. It's either going to be taxpayer money
Oh, so maybe that's the chance. Who's going to pay for it? That's what we're going to find out about.
Yep.
Then why are you here?
Well, because 2 weeks ago I had a dream, and in that dream I was given this vision.
You had a screen printing dream? Your dream told you that Trump is going to win, and then Ivanka, and then Don Jr., and Eric. Tiffany is going to win in 2048, and then Barron. Great.
All right.
But Barron only serves one term.
No, 2 terms.
No, that's only one term. That's 4 years. Yeah, actually, these are mostly one-term presidents.
No, you're not reading it right, brother.
No, I'm like 20. No, this is 24 to 28. That's 4 years.
And then another 4.
No. These are one-term presidents. Ivanka, 1 term. Don Jr., 1 term.
For Ivanka, what's the date?
Ivanka is 2024,
and
2028.
That's 8 years.
That's 4 years. Look, you have a 4-year period here where somebody else gets elected. It doesn't say anything about re-elected.
It does. It has her getting elected in 2024 and 2028.
Your math is wrong.
No, my math is not wrong.
Of course, these rallies aren't just about spirited debate. It's also an opportunity for Trump supporters to clarify their messaging. One-word descriptor, Joe Biden.
Ridiculous.
So welcome back. You haven't been here for a little while, but you've been an outspoken critic of you-know-who in the White House since before he took office, and we've been talking about the impeachment conversation. What have you been thinking about in terms of impeachment, the hearings? Have you watched any of them, or...?
I've watched some. I think no matter what happens, which we know probably in the Senate he won't get convicted or whatever, but we have to do this. We have to go through the motions. Symbolically, it means something. It's a taint on his presidency, more than a taint. It's a stain, one that he deeply deserves. So, yes, we will go through it and take our chances. We have to take our chances no matter what. He's going to try and use it, that he got ahead of it, he beat it like a gangster. I beat the rap, I beat them like the Teflon Don, but he has to take that punishment. He has to pay the consequences.
Even if you think that, even if that means that could risk Republicans.
We don't have time for that.
He
did something wrong. He has to pay for it, period. Right.
You know, Donald Trump will likely go down in history as this country's most moronic president. So what exactly is the dumbest moment he's ever had? Well, there are many to choose from. So first, I want to remind you all of the bright idea he had regarding nuking hurricanes. He had been quoted as saying the following. Axios had reported this. I got it. I got it. Why don't we nuke them? They start forming off the coast of Africa. As they're moving across the Atlantic, we drop a bomb inside the eye of the hurricane and it disrupts it. Why can't we do that? The source added, paraphrasing the president's remarks. But if you thought that was a dumb moment, which it most certainly was, we have other examples for you, including what you're about to watch.
We manned the airport. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do.
So that was him claiming that the Revolutionary Army took over the airports back in the 1700s. But we have more. Let's go to the next one.
We've ended the war on beautiful, clean coal, and it's just been announced that a second brand new coal mine where they're going to take out clean coal, meaning they're taking out coal, they're going to clean it, is opening.
Look, these are impossible to decide. In fact, we got a poll coming up at tyt.com/dumb where we're going to ask you which one of these is the dumbest. So keep all these in mind. Take out the coal and you clean it, and that's what clean coal is. Taking over the airport in 76. You think it can't get worse? Hold.
F-35s, fighter jets. They're stealth. You can't see them. I said, how good are these? They say, well, sir, the problem is you can't see them when you fight them. I said, that sounds like it's a big advantage. I said, how does it do it in fights? And how do they do in fights with the F-35? He said, we do very well. You can't see it. You can't see it. They said, well, sir, you can't see it. I said, yeah, but in a fight, a fight like I watch on the movies, a fight, they're fighting. How good is it? Say, well, it wins every time because the enemy cannot see it. Even if it's right next to it, it can't see.
One of the guys in the back nearly burst out laughing. It's a stealth fighter because radar can't pick it up. You can see it. It is not an invisible plane.
No. If you're next to it, you literally cannot see it. You just can't. It's an invisible fighter jet.
Okay, first of all, what's interesting is there's actually an F-35 in front of me right now. You just can't see it.
The story, Donald Trump was suffering from bone spurs. Today, the world is suffering from the real Donald Trump. Come on, let's go. What are we talking about? Let's clap for that. This idiot is the president. It's the emperor's new clothes. The guy is a fool. Come on. The publication of the Pentagon Papers was a proud moment for American journalism. The Times and the Post challenged the government over critical First Amendment issues, and the press prevailed. Our government today, with the prompting of our baby-in-chief, has in-chief, I call him, has put the press under siege, ridiculing it and trying to discredit it through outrageous attacks and lies. And again, just like 1971, the press is distinguishing itself with brave and exacting journalism.
Love yourself, love yourself. I take it personally. It was free money sitting on the fucking table, and he left it there. And he left me on that table too. He left me just exposed. So he lost my vote. He lost my vote. Somebody's crying.
I gotta tell you guys, I miss him. I think it is quite possible that within our lifetimes, we will not see anyone that will be remotely as truthful as him. I miss him. There was a guy guarding the door. He was the orange guy, and you guys all took him out. He told you the truth. I miss him. Trump was the last guy guarding the door. They're all mocking the guy who's guarding the door because he's orange and he has funny hair and he eats ketchup with his steak, and they were all mocking him. So you got rid of him, and then what'd you get?
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
Donald Trump is a daily dose of exaggeration, but not about one thing: the size and fervor of his following.
Wow, what a crowd.
All across America, they line up for hours, waiting for the show.
I got about 2 hours sleep.
We met Courtney Modisette at 6:30 a.m. in Westfield, Indiana, proudly perched outside the door for a 7 p.m. Trump event.
What possessed you to come here 12 and a half hours early for the Trump rally?
My kids are going to remember this. Their kids are going to remember this. And I grew up with my family loving Trump.
They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists.
Trump's voice has been raucous, caustic, insulting, and divisive. Cindy Lyons is from Jackson, Mississippi.
Well, Donald Trump has a straightforward way that he communicates.
Has he ever spoke so plainly that you kind of cringed?
I understand what's behind what he's saying.
Richard Matkey is from Londonderry, New Hampshire.
And he's not a dummy, like everybody seems to think. You don't make $1 billion being an idiot. So I think he's smart enough to run the country.
They're $5 or 3 for $10.
Trump is also the voice of a part of America that's given up on the two parties and the system, one that smells corruption everywhere, a long-lost and so-called silent majority that is buying the political equivalent of a lottery ticket.
They're all part of the same deal, man. You know, it's hold your nose and pull the lever.
Trump voters have had enough of holding their nose.
I mean, I'm mad. I've been mad. I'm one of the angry, voters that they've been discussing for the last year. So
we met Ray Paredes at this Trump rally in Virginia, a 3-hour drive from his home.
What are you angry about?
Like I said, I'm just angry that the Republicans, it's like they're just milquetoast.
We talked to Trump before the South Carolina primary and asked about his fawning crowds and the weight of their expectations.
Do you feel that is a burden, though, if you become president?
It's a burden. It makes it tougher for them. I don't want to let these people down.
Trump supporters believe unshakably something else, that Trump can't be bought.
I didn't have to do this.
George and Alexandra Simoes of Massachusetts.
He says the things that needs to be said.
About what? What's important to you?
The truth that nobody else says.
Trump is different because he doesn't have to answer to any donors, any lobbyists.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Part of the Trump phenomenon derives from fame, reality TV sizzle.
You wanted law and order in this town. You've got it.
A kind of lowbrow celebrity that former President Ronald Reagan was once derided for. The comparisons crop up frequently, even though Trump supporters can't always explain why. Lucas Quinn from Union, Mississippi.
He's got a little Reagan in him, too, which is always a good thing.
What echoes for you about Reagan and Trump?
Just, I don't really know. I mean, I wasn't alive when Reagan was president, so I can't speak on Reagan, but...
Details aside, Quinn is convinced Trump's got whatever Reagan had.
Everything he did made America great.
The thing is that he makes gangsters look bad because certain gangsters, like in any profession, keep their word. He doesn't even know how to keep his word. And he's the president. It's just crazy that he's our president.
I get the sense from you that you view this as a crisis.
It is a crisis. Yes, it is. And too many people are too gentle about it and genteel about it. And we're in a crisis situation, period. That's it.
Normally, we like to focus this part of the show on complex, depressing policy issues. Something fun, like CO2 emissions from hearses, or space poverty, or the proliferation of special-purpose taxing districts, a topic so boring you didn't even realise we literally already did that exact story last year. And we want to keep doing those kind of things, but unfortunately we can't until we address something even bigger, the concept of reality itself. And that is because of this guy. Now, since taking office around 412 years ago, Trump has made it clear that reality is not important to him. Think about it. He's exaggerated the size of his inauguration crowd. He said the election was marred by mass voter fraud with no real proof of that. He also falsely claimed that compared to Muslims, it was almost impossible for Christian refugees from Syria to get into the US. He even lied about the weather during his inauguration.
It was almost raining. The rain should have scared him away, but God looked down and he said, we're not going to let it rain on your speech.
No, he didn't. First, it did rain while you were speaking. That's why your wife was holding up an umbrella and people behind you were wearing ponchos. And second, if God did look down, his only thought would have been, wait, the Mormon Tabernacle Choir? Come on, I'm sick of them and I'm God. Could you not book silence, or was silence somehow boycotting this thing too? So that is where we are currently at. We have a president capable of standing in the rain and saying it was a sunny day. And before we go any further, Donald Trump lies is clearly not a fresh observation. Liberals are probably thinking, wow, hot take there, Johnny. Next you're going to tell me that Obama is aloof, Dick Cheney is evil, and Paul Ryan doesn't climax until he checks his Fitbit to see how many calories he's burned from f***ing. And you know what? If you're on the other side, if you're on the right, you're probably thinking, oh great, another blizzard of snowflakes from Last Cuck Tonight with Johnny Triggerwarn. And yes, I know all other presidents have lied. PolitiFact found that just over a quarter of President Obama's statements that they evaluated were some degree of false. But with Trump, that number is currently over 2/3. Perhaps that is why one reporter who's been covering Trump found himself saying this.
This is what makes covering Donald Trump so very difficult. What does he mean when he says words?
Wow! What does he mean when he says words? We are talking about the president, like a Tinder match we've been on 4 dates with. I asked him if we could hang out this Friday, and he said, probably, ... I'm starving, bicycle emoji, poop emoji. What the fuck does that mean? What does he mean when he says words?
If we don't root out the fraud, the tremendous and horrible fraud that's taken place in our 2020 election, we don't have a country anymore. It was all bullshit.
Great Joe! Great Joe! Vodka! File! Yeah! Got it! A memory that will last for possibly 4 years. God help us all. When was America last great?
For me, I would say the turning point for our country was 1913, when we passed the 17th Amendment. And what's
So like back when like women couldn't vote?
Yeah, back up, but again, let's
like that
go back.
That's kind of your sweet spot right there?
Absolutely, but 1913.
What year was America great?
When it was founded.
Except for the slavery stuff.
Except for the slavery stuff, you know?
I think we were probably our strongest immediately post-World War II.
So around the 1950s?
Yeah, mid-40s, 50s.
I mean, I think the 50s was great other than, segregation and women's rights.
Look, we could sit here and paint negative faces of all times in America.
Correct. It's Make America Great Again. So when was the last great?
It's always been great.
If it's always been great, what are we trying to go back to?
We're not going back, we're going forward.
Well, I guess the 80s were pretty good. Right, the 80s.
Yeah, the 80s, great music, great
crack
video
cocaine.
games, crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Well, we're always great. The people are great.
So
America
is great right now. So we did it.
No, we didn't do it.
America became great when the Founding Fathers put pen on paper in 1776 and decided to build a country based on laws.
Right.
That was greatness.
That was awesome. Yeah. Other than the slavery, obviously, that was terrible. And
we did have that. Yeah, we did have that and the Indian thing, right?
That was terrible. And the women's voting thing. But other than that, that was awesome.
A few hiccups along the way, you know. Like they say, nobody made it to the top without breaking a few pieces of china. That wasn't an insult, by the way.
Steel ramp. It had no handrail. It was like you'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV. So they say, could you repeat that? So I said, yeah. So it's person, woman, man, camera, TV. Okay, that's very good.
A week from now, Mr. President, the electors will meet to cast their vote. There's not a lot of time between now and then to make your case to overturn the vote. At this point, are you looking to change the outcome of the election or try to make a case to the American people that it wasn't fair?
Well, I think the case has already been made if you look at the polls. It was a rigged election. You look at the different states, the election was totally rigged. It's a disgrace to our country. It's like a third world country. These ballots pouring in from everywhere using machinery that nobody knows ownership, nobody knows anything about. They have glitches, as they call them, glitches. The glitches weren't glitches. They got caught sending out thousands of votes, all against me, by the way. Now, this was like from a third world nation, and I think the case has been made, and now we find out what we can do about it. But you'll see a lot of big things happening over the next couple of days.